Hello and welcome to the Graceful Connections Light of Truth Festival. I'm your host, Sophie Bidard, and the co-creator of Graceful Connections and our brand new Light of Truth Festival. This is when we celebrate and activate the light of truth, welcoming carefully selected intuitive truth masters offering live intuitive readings, flowing the light of truth to illuminate a specific topic. Thank you for being with us and bringing your unique vibration, colors, and energetic presence without which something would be missing. Thank you for answering yes to the calling of truth and the calling of your psychic and spiritual abilities to expand, which is what our guest, Godelieve Willer, will be sharing with us about today, and that's going to be fascinating for sure. So let's begin. I invite you to relax and take a few deep breaths. Breathing out all that does not belong to this moment. Let's bring all of your attention, your presence here and now. We set our intention that our time together, all that is shared in words and beyond the words, all the energies that we call in and flow serve our highest good, our evolution, and be of service to the highest good of all. I invite you to open your heart, or open it even more, and be ready to receive. And to open your mind, or open it even more, and be ready to receive. Activating your connection to the new Earth crystalline grid, and your connection to Galactic Center, the center of truth. You are held, both grounded and suspended. You are safe, relaxed, and ready, and open to receive. Now we're already held in the greater, safe, sacred space of the Orb of Grace. And I'm now calling the Orb of Truth from the Galactic Center. And placing the Orb of Truth around our group, our gathering, each and every one of us. That we be held in the Orb of Truth and infused with the highest vibrations of truth all along our time together. Let's take a moment to adjust to the purity and the high frequency of truth, allowing it to reveal what we've been blind to, unaware of, resisting, avoiding, denying, and all that needs to be brought to light. In purest alignment with divine will and the divine order of grace. And breathe. Beautiful. Now, within the Orb of Truth, I'm delighted to welcome our intuitive truth master, powerful multidimensional energy reader, and heightened multisensory intuitive mentor, Godelieve Willer, who will be offering insights into the truth of your psychic and spiritual abilities. It's such a blessing to have you with us today, Godelieve. Welcome.
Hello, Sophie. I love being in your orb, and I love that we're in the Orb of Truth today. So wonderful to be here to connect with you, and looking forward to connecting in with all the other people who call in or write in through the box.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you. Yes, so everyone, Godelieve is going to offer live intuitive readings. You'll have the chance to ask her, what's the number one block in the way of my next level of expansion? So to request your reading, press *2 on the phone or click raise hand on the web to come on the line with Godelieve. or place your request in the Q&A box on the web. And yes, the question to ask for your reading is, what's the number one block in the way of my next level of expansion? And here we're talking next level of expansion specifically in regards to your psychic and spiritual abilities. So I'd like to ask you, Godelieve, what do we need to know, to be aware of, to understand about those abilities that will allow us to receive our intuitive readings and to truly make the best of them? What are the highlights that you want to share before we get into the readings, and in order to give them even more meaning and significance?
Yeah, so the first thing that's really important to know is that these are innate abilities, right? Our psychic or clair pathways are inherent to us as a spiritual being. So they're literally a part of our makeup, right? But they just get obfuscated while in the physical body experience for most of us, right? So they either get restricted, stifled, contorted, or shut down completely even, right? But these abilities absolutely can be accessed again. Right? So that's a piece that really needs to be understood. It's not like some people are born with them and some people aren't, and they're just gifts. Everybody has them. Just for many of us, they kind of lay dormant for many reasons. And actually, the most common blocks to expanding psychically or expanding your psychic perception ability there's about 5 or 6 kind of main categories of elements that I kind of lumped into. And I'll just briefly mention them just to give you an idea of some of the things that can get in the way. One of the biggest things is subconscious blocks, right? There are subconscious parts of yourself, right? So believe it or not, there can be parts of ourselves with an opposing agenda to our conscious desires and efforts, right? So becoming aware of those is really important. The next thing is actually conscious beliefs and mindset. Right? So believe it or not, you can have beliefs very consciously without even realizing them. That's really inhibiting your psychic perception ability. So a personal example is that I used to believe that I had to see or hear someone in order to read for them, right? I had the belief that I needed to see or hear them in order to connect with their energy. Well, of course, that's not true, right? So I had to upgrade my understanding of how my abilities work exactly, and then that updated my belief of what's possible. And then literally instantly, there was a huge leap in my psychic expansion just from shifting that one very conscious belief I had, right? Another kind of category, which I work with all the time, is learned habits, right? I'm mostly talking about energetic habits here, right? Habits we are largely unaware of. So, for example, your energetic alignment can be a habit, as in you're habitually partly out of your body, say, right? So that's an energetic habit that reduces your ability to be fully supported and grounded here, right? Another category is a trained brain, right? The brain plays such a huge role, right? Most people have a trained brain of ignoring psychic information when it comes in. So there's an element of retraining the brain here that needs to occur to bring that information back into conscious awareness. So it's like reteaching the brain how to process information and create new neural pathways, right? And a lot of this, we train our brain in the early years of life mostly, and based on what is deemed important or critical for that time in our life, right? But that changes as you become an adult and you want to start opening up your psychic abilities again, right? And there are many, many, many. I could go on and on about all the different trained habits. Another really common one is when I'm working with someone to expand their psychic abilities. And what I witnessed is literally just working with a woman this week, a medium, and witnessing the energy come in, that pure psychic information coming in. And the second it comes in and begins to come to awareness, then she switches over into the human rational mind, and the frontal lobe lights up. And then there's like these huge assumptions being made, right? And this is super, super common. We don't sit long enough in the receiving mode. We just jump right to let the mind grab onto that piece of information and make an assumption of, oh, I think it's this, or this means, then this must mean that, right? So it's about training yourself, your body being, and your brain also, to have a pause and allow more of that pure data bite, that raw data to come in before allowing the human mind to jump in and make assumptions, right? So there's all kinds of ways that our brains and our body beings are habituated and trained, right? another big category of elements is vibrational alignment, right? The vibrational alignment that you're holding in order to allow those higher frequencies and pure light energy to be able to come in all the way, right? So that's a very big category. There's also elements of your soul plan and your natural makeup that come into play, right? There's also things like, this is a really fun one to work with for me, but lack of awareness, I call it, right? So a lot of time we just need someone to point our consciousness or our awareness in a certain direction to explore what's possible, right? Because you don't know what you don't know, right? So many people have these unique abilities even and aren't even aware of them because they just haven't been accessed yet. They're literally just sitting on a shelf, so to speak, waiting. So exploration and discovery is also key to your expansion, right? So getting more intimately aware of yourself as a spiritual being, right? And then, of course, there's just things like energetic debris or stagnation in some of the chakras that are really key in receiving psychic information, all kinds of things. But so you get some of the idea here that there are various things that limit or block our psychic perception and limit our expansion in many ways. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is obviously a broad range of possibilities, and it's so precious to have you for that, to have you with us, Godelieve, with your very sharp perception and to be able to point out specifically to the number one. So let's get personal. Thank you for giving us the big picture and letting us know, yes, what we need to know so that now we can get personal with those readings. So again, for those of you who joined a bit later to request your reading from Godelieve, press *2 on the phone or click raise hand on the web to get on the line with us, or place your request in the Q&A box on the web. And the question for your reading is, what's the number one block in the way of my next level of expansion? Or simply ask for a reading from Godelieve. That will do as well. Okay, let's get started. Godelieve, let the light of truth shine bright through your intuitive readings. We're going to start with the live callers, and then we'll go to the Q&A. Okay, first we're going to Schomburg with Andrea. Unmuting you, Andrea. Hello.
Hello, Sophie. Hello, Godelieve. Thank you so much. What's the number one block in the way of my next level of expansion?
Yeah, so immediately the ear chakras are lighting up. So there's a lot of clairaudient information starting to come through more. So I just want to put your attention to pay more attention to that. Also, there's like awareness, and in particular on the it would be kind of your left, kind of upper left side behind your head. There's a lot of information coming in there. And so part of that is wanting to come in clairaudiently. But I also feel like I want to encourage you to explore what is possible for you. So I just see you going about your day, and I love the energy that you're in, actually. It's very radiant. And so now it's like play. It's like, okay, what's possible? What can I do? So I would, maybe start with that clairaudience, or maybe whatever other kind of pathway that you're more interested in, let's say, if it's not your clairaudience, but start actually putting them into practice, like apply them, and then see what happens. Because I think that you will really have some ahas, and there's some excitement there waiting for you. So
wow.
Yeah, some place.
This is very exciting. Thank you so much. Yes, I love it.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Andrea. And stay with us, because a bit later, Godelieve is going to share about the special offer she's created to support everyone beyond today's readings. And there's a whole chunk that's all about the play, right? With a play shop. There's a workshop and there's a play shop. And from what I'm hearing, Godelieve, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that for you, Andrea, that's where you're going to really enjoy and have many opportunities and ideas and ways to start to really get on board and start to play with your gifts. So
yeah, that's a good point. So what I was talking earlier about, exploration, and play, that you just don't know what you don't know. So every time I do these kinds of play shots, there's always people like, wow, because they're like, oh my gosh, like this came through. And it's just because they had never tried that before. They had never placed their consciousness there before to receive what's there to receive, right? So exploration, and I like to say play, to make it fun, you know, is so key in expanding your psychic abilities.
Yeah.
We do lots of that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Andrea. Blessings.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, the exploration, it's not so easy. I mean, I know you know Godelieve, but honestly, it's not so easy to do on our own because I mean, there's so much. Where should I go? Where should I start? And how? So that's why it's also so precious to have you as a guide, that you can see for each individual what is their best next step and what is their favorite play that they are going to enjoy at the moment. So that's really wonderful. Okay, we're going to talk about this a bit later. Let's go on with our readings. We're going to Delray Beach, Florida with Fried. Unmuting you, Fried. Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome.
Oh, blessings. So I will ask, what is the number one block in my way to my next level or of expansion, or any other information that's meant to come through? Thank you.
Okay, so there's, just as I tune into your field, a bit of, I would say, timidness and apprehensiveness, but also it may seem contrary, but I do see that you have been tapping into your higher self and that kind of energy. So lean more into that and address this. It's almost like you're waiting for something, almost like not quite permission, but you're waiting for something to take that next step. And so if you need permission, you know, I'm asking you to give it to yourself now, right? Give yourself permission to take that next step of ownership of who you are, right? And connecting in and just stepping out. Because it's almost like there's just timidness, apprehension, and like you're waiting for a sign to tell you, okay, you have permission to now take that next step. So I would do some, looking into that. We're in this package. So in the one-on-one part, so I won't explain too much now because we're going to get to that later, but that would be really good for you, that first one-on-one with me, and then that workshop in clearing that apprehension.
That is awesome. Thank you for that reading. That was so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Stay with us to hear all about the program. Thank you, Fried. Blessings. Okay. Blessings. Thank you. Going to Sedona, Arizona with Matthew. I'm unmuting you, Matthew. Hello.
All right. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome, Matthew. Hi.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi there. So, a reading from Godelieve, I suppose?
Yes. What block do I need to see and clarify?
So it's already coming through. So it's this, there's still this wanting to get out of the body, right? So you may be a little bit consciously aware of this, but not quite as deeply as I'm wanting to bring to light here. So it's like everything is so amazing and exciting, and I'm so powerful when I'm out there exploring psychically, or maybe you astral travel, I don't know, but all this, and there's this still a resistance to being in the body because it's less fantastical when you're in the body. It's underwhelming in the body, right? And connected to that is, you know, a deep kind of sadness and reluctance to really fully commit to being in the body, grounded, and allowing all of that powerful higher self energy to ground into the physical, right? So this package, that workshop is going to be really powerful for you because we're also going to do some powerful activations, in particular in the heart, and I feel like that's going to be really powerful for you. And also the play shop in showing you that being in the body and having your spiritual abilities online while being in the body can be super exciting and fantastical and also mystical as well. So that's what I wanted to share with you, hon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Matthew. Blessings. All right, let's go to Westchester with Nick. Unmuting you, Nick.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi. Hello, welcome.
Yeah. Wonder what blocks you see. I have had some experiences, but don't seem to, you know. I've had people try to contact me from the other side, so I don't know.
Yeah, so just what I'm seeing as you're speaking there, there's a disconnect. So I'm seeing where your higher self is and your guides wanting to kind of contribute, but it's like I see you kind of turned away. So you're not making that conscious, deep connection with your higher awareness, your greater consciousness, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, right? So that's wanting to happen. It's wanting to kind of fall into an alignment and rest there, right? So kind of a bit of what is alluding to at the beginning of the call is that, sitting in that connection. So I don't see that you're sitting in that conscious connection very long. And so you may get hits of, this hit that, I feel like this is trying to contact me, whatever. But it's like you're perceiving it from the human you, and what your guides are wanting you to have a re-perspective is that it's not the human you necessarily, it's the you and the higher self as one, and that's going to be a more powerful position to be able to use your abilities, communicate with the other side if that's what you want, the direction you want to go, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so Godelieve, can you packet the package, or which specific part maybe of the package will support Nick with that?
Well, I think the one-on-one, because a lot is going to be revealed in that, in particular the workshop, because in the activations I'll be guiding you through, there's other components in that workshop for the activation piece where I'll line you up with your higher self and start running that energy through, making room in the heart for that energy to be seated in the heart, right? And that's going to really fill up your field. I'm just watching you as I'm saying it. That'll be, I think that workshop, in particular the activation section, is going to be really helpful.
Okay, wonderful. So stay with us, Nick, to hear all about it. Thank you. Blessings, Nick.
Yes,
Bye-bye. All right. Let's go to California with Anne. Unmuting you, Anne.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Welcome.
Thank you. Can you tell me my number one block in the way of my next level of expansion?
Yeah, so immediately as I'm tuning in, I'm smiling because you have really nice energy, and there's like a kind of like an optimism, like a light energy there, a positive kind of attitude, which I really like to see. So let me just look a little deeper to see what's kind of in the way of that next level of expansion. If you're wanting to expand psychically, then what I'm seeing is that kind of more focused attention and time dedicated to what I would call applying or practicing. So if there's a certain end result that you're looking for, then you can practice a certain technique. Or what I call applying is just going in there, exploring and using that gift in whatever way that, that wants to occur for you, right? If you might want to start with a technique, for example, in the play shop, I'm going to teach you, go through exercises and teach you techniques so that you can practice, right? But I see a really nice unfolding, but in order to kind of expedite that, it really just needs some attention and intention, right? Some intention and attention on opening up those gifts. So if you'd like to open up your psychic perception more, that's what's needed now. Some attention and intention on applying those pathways. So I just see that they're just not being really applied consciously.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and blessings. All
These
right.
times to take up really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun times. Okay. Let's go to Burns Lake, British Columbia. 8288 are the last digits of your phone number. I'm unmuting you. Hello. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
Hi.
What is your name, please?
It's Marianne. I was just wondering, what is my number one block to my next level of expansion?
Okay.
And my name's Marianne.
What's that, love?
Marianne.
Oh, yeah,
Marianne.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marianne.
So there's an element of hiding and shielding. So I'm just seeing on the back of your field, I see this every now and then, like this kind of shielding energy. So perhaps you were very sensitive when you were younger and you developed this, kind of shielding energy. But it also tied in with the hiding, like not wanting to be seen right? And so that really gets in the way when we want to basically not shine our light, not be who we came here to be, right? So that is in many ways dampening and dampering your psychic perception abilities. Because really what wants to happen is that, you want to embody that higher self energy and let that light shine, right? So if you're restricting shining that light, that is absolutely blocking your psychic perception expansion, your abilities there. So I would look at that, hon. The workshop we can clear that in the workshop. And in the one-on-one, we'll get more precise. I go into each of your Claire pathways and tell you what's in each one in terms of what's the status, how open, how closed they are, if there's a specific block, or other people's energy, et cetera. I'll explain more when we get to that point here today. But that would be really good for you, that one-on-one and the workshop.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne. Blessings.
Yeah,
okay. Wonderful. Okay, we'll come back. We'll take more live callers. I'd like to go to the Q&A where we have many requests. So let's go there for a little while. Let's go to Portugal with Sandra. So for Sandra Godelieve, what's Sandra's number one block in the way?
Okay, tuning into Sandra in Portugal. Okay, so going right to the heart, there's a significant block in the heart, actually, that lit up right away. Excuse me. And so, people don't realize how significant the role the heart plays in our psychic abilities. And so I'm seeing that's the block in that next level of expansion is addressing that block in the heart. And so let me just get a little more details on that for you. Yeah, so it's a real pain about, what if I open up again and then I expose myself to the potential for all that pain again? So it's like a risk. It's like, I don't know if I want to take that risk. I've been really hurt. I don't know if I want to open up and be vulnerable again, right? So that's the nature of that block in the heart. Yeah. So again, that workshop with that heart activation piece would be really powerful for you.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you, Sandra. Blessings. All right, let's go to Ottawa with Yves. So for Yves, what's the number one block in the way of his next level?
Yeah, so right away, Yves, it's in the mental body. There's still a lot of judgments and beliefs, and in particular, conscious beliefs even that aren't true. So I'm just being told there's a lot of conscious beliefs that aren't true anymore. They were true. They were in the past, right? But they're not anymore. And so that's creating like a kind of cloudy arc over, in particular, your clairgnostic channel and your clairgnostic ability. So there's a mental body that, can be cleared of those. A lot of that is what I call energetic debris. But that's really what came up immediately. That next level is actually a lot of conscious beliefs need to be kind of rethought and assessed. And do you want to keep them? Are they still true? And they have flavors about judgment. So judgments about yourself, judgments about what other people will think of you, judgments about you. Is it possible for me to actually come out and be who I am? Like, it won't be accepted, yada, 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 like all down that kind of flavor. So really looking at, is this really true? And really challenge yourself if you answer right away and say, well, yes, it is. No one will accept me. You know what I mean? Really, that's what I'm seeing as that block right now, that primary block to your expansion.
Okay. Thank you, Eve. Blessings. It's time to update and upgrade your beliefs, as I believe is probably the case of many of us, right? The update and upgrade of beliefs is something like, let's have in our spare time after this call, everyone can turn in and kind of review where are you, what are your beliefs in regard of your abilities, and kind of to push them a little bit, like, is this really true? Is this really, do I really want to keep believing this? Or and maybe you would say yes, but maybe your higher self is gonna say no, not anymore. We don't want this anymore. It's time for something higher. So great to have you here for this as well, Godelieve. Thank you. Blessings to you, Eve. Okay, next we're going to Hyde Park, Massachusetts, with Annette.
Okay, Annette, tuning into you, hon. Okay, so it's this apprehension and fear about how will I be perceived. And I'm also seeing a flavor of how you perceive yourself. And so in that, there's some insecurities and there's still some not seeing your own value, right? And so I'm just seeing a lot of this all at once and seeing how that really, really cuts off and limits your expansion because, my goodness, those beliefs, and some of them are conscious for you, I really see that, but some of them are really connected to deeper subconscious beliefs. But when you hold those beliefs, that really shapes your reality, right? Our beliefs really do shape our experience. And so that, as I see, is a primary block to your expansion right now. And, where you'd want to prioritize is those beliefs, subconscious and conscious ones, around your own value. So that's what I want to share.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Annette. Blessings. Let's go to Portland with Lani.
Okay. So Lani in Portland?
Yes.
Okay. So let me just connect into Lani in Portland. Okay. So I see some information coming in clairgnostically, clairaudiently. Some of that energy gets stuck in the throat chakra. So I'm just looking at kind of what I want to say is that kind of number one block here. Because on the other hand, I do feel in your field that there's a lot of good things happening. So let me just look at that throat chakra and just kind of take an overall general look at your field here. Yeah, so that throat chakra, interesting. So that's what's lighting up. And there's, let me just go back in and get some more detail. I kind of forgot what I saw there in terms of words. So it's not just your ability to speak your truth, because it's more nuanced than that. There's like, sometimes maybe you say things that even you yourself don't really believe yet, right? So there's kind of like a under layer there. So your ability to speak your truth, but also to believe with conviction what you're speaking. So that's what wants to be shared there. So looking at what are your beliefs and also tied with your so maybe this makes sense. So you're saying things because you think that's what is generally accepted or believed, and that's okay to say. But then these other beliefs I have or doubts I have, right, are getting mixed in there. But they're not, do you know what I mean? It's not speaking with conviction. Does that make sense? So same with you in person, I'd ask you a couple of questions and drill down deeper. But if you do in that one-on-one in this package, we'd go really deep into the throat chakra, because the throat chakra is connected to your clairaudience, right? For example. So that would be something I really go into and look at in that one-on-one.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Lani. Blessings.
Yeah. Blessings.
Okay. I hope you can get on board and get the clarity, not only the clarity, but the clearing of these blocks, obviously.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to Zambia with Mwaka. So for Mwaka, what's the number one block?
Okay. Let me tune in. Okay. So I'm going right to kind of your clairvoyance. So let me just look and see, because that pathway's lighting up. Let me look in there. So there's a block that's really in that third eye center. It's quite a significant block in a way, but that third eye is really lit up, but so I can tell that it really wants to kind of be in full operation now. So I don't know if maybe you've been trying to use your clairvoyance, or it's just kind of naturally you have visions now and then. So I see that it's there's a kind of a natural makeup where that's kind of a larger part of your pathways, like in terms of what your energetic makeup is. But there is a significant block in that third eye. So we would address that in the one-on-one and then powerfully clear that in the workshop. Yeah, so that kind of lit up right away that clairvoyant pathway.
I love that you can see so clearly. Like I see you having some kind of a, I don't know, a radar. Like when you say it lights up, I can see it lighting up. I say, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I really love your gifts, Godelieve, and I love that you're sharing them with us and being so generous and so precise. I love it. Thank you. So thank you, Marka. Blessings. Okay, let's go to Danvers with Leslie.
Denver and Leslie? Okay, so this
Danvers, yes, Danvers is the place.
Okay, Danvers and this is Leslie. Okay, so
yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'm seeing this energy run across the collarbones, and so I'm just gonna take a minute to go in and see what that's about. Okay, so there is some rigidity in your, or tension or rigidity in the way you're holding parts of your field. And so part of your clear pathways in general, the primary ones are restricted in areas. So there's like this tension. So I'm just asking, okay, so what's causing this restriction? And yeah, so it's a resistance to receiving the light that wants to come through. And so I understand this intimately, actually, because a long time ago, I had this intensely. And anytime I would try and kind of work with energy and increase, my higher self, like to merge with, my body would just tense up, even physically, right? But I'm not necessarily sensing it in your physical body completely, but definitely in your energy body. So you're kind of stifling the flow of resources in. Let me just look at your energetic alignment and your grounding. Okay, so you may be familiar with grounding, but that connection point isn't flowing a lot of light up, and that would make sense because you're holding this restriction. So that's your number one block to your expansion right now, is just you're not allowing yourself to receive, to really deeply receive. Part of that is connected to, subconscious beliefs and stuff, which I won't get necessarily into here. We would in the one-on-one, I would identify all the subconscious beliefs that are in each of these pathways. But that resistance, that stifling of receiving support and resources, and for you, you may conceptualize it as, source. Like maybe you feel like you're not good enough to receive directly from source. I don't know, but it's this subconscious habit you're in of not allowing yourself to receive the energy and resources that are here to support you.
Okay. Thank you, Leslie. Blessings. Let's go to Italy with Antonia.
Oh, all these great places.
Yes, we're traveling the world.
Okay, Antonia from Italy. Okay, so this is, how do I explain this? So it's like you've been playing as you were molded to be, taught to be. Nice girl, I'm in my role, in my spot, right? And so what's really been asked of you is to step out beyond that role that, you were kind of conditioned to be in, like we all are, right? And so right now I'm just seeing that identity that you've been seeing for yourself and taking on needs to be upgraded and shifted and expanded in a really big way, right? Our identity drives our behavior in a big way, right? So how do you see yourself, right? As, the good little girl, not creating problems, just, being the peacekeeper or whatever, that role is, that feels very polite to me and very but it's outdated. It's limiting your expansion. And so a new identity is needed, right? And, the play shop, I know it doesn't sound like it, the play shop will really help you have ahas about, oh, wow, like this is possible and I can do this, right?
I
And
could be this. I
yeah,
could be that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it will just help you realize that there's parts of your consciousness that you haven't even explored yet, right? And that might help in you getting excited about this new identity which you are, right?
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Antonia.
That's
Blessings. Okay.
fun.
Let's
Pasta
go to
for
the
me.
U. Yeah.
I love pasta in Italy.
Let's go all the way up to the UK in Real with Angela.
Okay, UK, Angela. Okay, so I'm being told that you hear whispers in your ears. And so what do you do with that, right? Do you ground the information? Do you write it out? Do you just kind of, let it go, ignore it, and then you forget about it altogether? So I see this a lot that, information comes in and it wants to be grounded in the physical, whether you speak it out, act on it, write it down. But something needs to happen to take that next level of expansion. You need to act on what's given already, right? So if you're getting intuitive nudges, intuitive hits, gut feelings, whatever, take that next step, right? Write it out. Begin retraining your brain to say, hey, this is the kind of information that I want to bring to the forefront of my conscious awareness, right? Start growing that attention on that ability, let's say, right? So that's kind of that next level is actually grounding your psychic perception, what you're getting already, validating it to take it to the next level, right? So acting on it, grounding it. That's really important. Yeah. And all my programs around this topic, I make sure everyone has a journal and, after each class, write down what you experienced, right? Grounded in the physical.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Which I'm seeing it's also a good way to honor the value and to give value to what you are receiving, right? Not just let it come in and out and like it's just like smoke coming in and out, but it's something of value that is worth collecting and is worth keeping, is worth coming back to. And so I think the element of valuing it is important as well, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Angela. Blessings. Okay. Lani from Portland says, thank you for the beautiful reading. Very resonant. Excited to sign up. Thank you, Lani. Thank you for sharing your feedback. That's really cool. Well, yeah. Let's bounce on this and we'll come back to have you do more readings. We'll take more live callers. We'll take more from the Q&A. But I think it's a good time now to discover how you're here to support everyone with this wonderful offering you've created, Psychic Perception, Illumination, and Expansion. So for everyone to follow, please go to gracefulconnections.com. That's graceful with 2 L's, gracefulconnections.com/LOT Godelieve, LOT for Light of Truth, LOT GODELIEVE, LOT Godelieve, gracefulconnections.com/LOT Godelieve. If you're on the webcast, you have the button and the link. Just click there. If you're on the replay, just scroll down the page to discover Godelieve's special offer. Godelieve, please reveal what you've created for our audience.
Yes, thank you. So I've created a package. I'm calling it a package. And it's really like such an essential package for anyone who wants to increase psychic perception, and in particular, people who are already in that process of using their abilities. Maybe you're already in the energy work or healing professionally, maybe like a Reiki healer or a medium or a channeler or anything like that, or animal communicator, or anyone who really wants to expand their psychic perception abilities. So the first key part of the package is really about illuminating so much, right? So that the item 1 on the screen is the Psychic Pathways Assessment and Blocks Discovery Reading. So in this, you're going to learn so much about your energetic makeup and the status of each of your psychic pathways or clair abilities. You're going to discover also that domino piece that wants to be addressed first really have a big impact on your ability to perceive psychically, right? And we're going to specifically address this domino piece during our workshop. But in this one-on-one, it's done in small micro groups, so just 2, maybe 3 people, right? Because I do find it's really beneficial for you to witness at least one other reading, because there's so much information, insight gleaned from that experience. So they're done in just tiny groups of just 2 or 3 people, but I work with you one-on-one for your reading. And I look at each of the clair pathways. So I'm going to go in and see, okay, how open is this pathway? How close? What the status of it is, what needs to occur, what are the blocks in there. Perhaps you have other people's energy stuck in there. That's very common too, right? So I do a thorough reading and assessment of each of those clair pathways, plus that domino block that wants to occur, that wants to be transmuted, that we're going to address in the workshop. And then, so moving to item 2, that psychic blocks removal workshop, plus the activation of your clair pathways. That workshop is going to be very thorough. It's actually a 2-hour workshop. But don't worry, short potty break in between before the activation. But it is going to be very thorough. We're going to be working in each of the clair pathways specifically, one at a time, and do a thorough cleaning. And we're going to clear out a lot of energetic debris as well. And we're going to call up those specific blocks that you would have individually, personally received, and we're going to address those while we're in each clair and in a specific portion of the workshop. So we're going to address that. The activation, I'm not going to say too much about it, but really, you know, the heart plays such a significant role in our psychic expansion, our abilities, in our ascension process, right? The heart is such a critical piece of that, essential. And so we're going to do a really powerful activation within the heart to really begin opening you up to receive more of your greater consciousness and seat it in your physical. So, and then you'll be getting a prep guide with tips on how to prepare and also how to integrate after the workshop. And then moving on to the third item, this is the play shop. So expand your psychic perception, play shop. This is super fun. Believe it or not, it can also be a little bit fatiguing because if you're not used to using your clairs in a really focused way, right? So this is also a 2-hour play shop. We'll have a short break, so I'll have you do other things to relieve the focus or any tension in the areas that we're using. So I've structured it in such a way that you have little breaks in between doing different things, right? But this is really fun because we're going to do exercises for each of the different clairs and then exercises using all of the clairs collectively together. Those exercises are fun. So I do warm-up exercises and then progressively more challenging, let's say, more involved exercises. And the great thing about this is that it's all recorded. And so you can use this play shop recording as a tool to revisit and do again and again to keep practicing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because these exercises are not a one and done thing. You every time you do them, you get better and better and better, more clear information. So those are the 3 kind of really meaty components of this package. And the other items are we're going to have an orientation and preparation call because I think that's really important so I can set things up for you and explain things. But in this intention and preparation, I'm going to guide you through an intention setting process to begin to activate higher potentials in your field for what's to come. So that's a really beautiful process. And then also included a bonus is what determines your psychic ability. This is a recorded class from one of my programs. And I think it's really important information to know so that you understand a little bit more in depth about the kinds of things that influence the level of access you have to your psychic abilities. And so this will be given on orientation day, and you're going to want to listen to this recording before you have your one-on-one session with me and the workshop and the play shop. So you want to do that right away after the orientation before we do the other components, so you have a better understanding of everything. And of course, I always do Q&A with everything I offer, because I think the opportunity to ask questions is really, really important too. So that's kind of it in a nutshell, this package.
Yes, you have all the details on the page. Thank you, Godelieve. I love it. Is a very comprehensive package. I love how you take care of all the aspects, all the elements. Everything is included that is needed. And I love the mix of individual reading and the group work and the group play. And yes, and the bonus class is really going to set the ground. I love that too. So, and it's very generously priced. So thank you so much, Godelieve. That's going to be, it's a very solid package that will take you very far and very deep, and it's very accessible as well. So that's really wonderful. Thank you, Godelieve. Now that we have clarity on how you're going to support everyone, let's go back to more readings if you're up to it. Are you good with keep going? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's go back to the live callers, then we'll go back to the Q&A. First, we're going to go to Pompano Beach, Florida, 7728. Hello.
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 You can hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Oh, hello. Oh, this is wonderful. Oh.
What is your name, please? I believe it's Pamela, but I'm...
Yes, it is.
Yes, that's Pamela. Okay, welcome, Pamela.
Hi. Hi, you are so gifted. My question is, I do have a gift. I haven't been using it, but I have a blessing from a Rebbe to use it. So what's blocking my level of expansion?
Yeah, so honey, immediately that came up is self-love, right? So there's I hate to say it like this, but a lack of self-love. So in the deepest parts of yourself, you don't really love yourself, right? And now that's actually bigger topic than you might realize, right? Because you can think you love yourself, but on the deepest level, you really. And so I would really look at your life experience and what's being mirrored back to you on a regular basis to maybe help highlight where you're holding that in your field. And I mean that metaphorically, where you're holding it. I mean, energetically, I see that energy in people's in the field, but it's more like what triggers that feeling when you're like, oh, so there's events that probably happen in your life that maybe hurt you, right? They hurt your feelings, so to speak.
Yes.
At the deepest level, so that's that block right now is the lack of self-love. And I'm telling you, because that was probably the biggest lesson I've learned in my life is self-love. And that is probably one of the biggest things that made the biggest difference, the absolute, by far, biggest difference in my expansion journey is really understanding what it means to love yourself. Like really love yourself. Yeah.
Oh, that is so true. I have trouble with computers. Had to get off the phone early last time. Didn't understand how to use the Gmail. Are you able to give a phone number where I can call you, Godelieve, for a 2-minute conversation? Are you able to do that on the phone, or I'll ask someone to email you to request it? Is that possible? I don't do anything with the computer stuff.
Okay, so you're talking about beyond this reading that I just gave you, like to clarify it? Is that?
No, because I just want to speak to you for 2 minutes and then go from there. Is there a phone number?
Well, not a phone number, but you can. It's using the computer to begin with, but you can go to my website and I have a free discovery call, so you can sign up for that, and then you have a short conversation.
So what's your website address, Godelieve?
GodeliveWiller.com. So GODELIEVE. That's Godelieve. So Godelieve Willer, WILLER.com. So GodeliveWiller.com.
All right. That's where you go, Pamela. Thank you.
Thank
Blessings.
you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, hon.
Welcome. Okay. You are very gifted. Yes, we know that, Godelieve. you are demonstrating it, reading after reading. It's one thing.
Yeah.
What I love is that you are demonstrating what you practice what you preach, right? So yes, you are very gifted, but you are using your gift and sharing your gift and putting it to the service of everyone and the highest good of all. So that's what we want. That's what we want with our gift. That's what we not just we want, but what we need, what they are here for.
And the really beautiful thing is that everything that all the callers are coming in and the issues that I have identified, I have gone through those exact same ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? You've been there. You've been there, done that, done the lack of love, done the
Absolutely.
So we're in the right place with you.
I did lack of love to the extreme. I understand all about what that is. So I'm thankfully I'm beyond that now.
And you're a proof that yes, we can get on the other side of it and not just become gifted, but own our gifts that were there all the time, all the way. So
yes, they were
wonderful.
100%.
Thank you. All right. With that, let's go to Swindon with Tanya. I'm unmuting you, Tanya. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
I would like to ask what's my number one block in the way of my next level of expansion? Thank you.
Okay, so your clair-gnostic pathway lights up. So there is a fair amount of debris in the bottom part of that of your crown chakra, actually, part of that clair-gnostic pathway, and so that wants to be cleared. So I feel like absolutely that workshop will be so good for you. And also the one-on-one. So I just wanted to say that right away because immediately that was being pointed to. So let me just look at it again and see if there's anything more that wants to be shared about that in particular. Yeah, no, that's really, that's really being shown as that number one block to your expansion right now. That clair-gnosis information really wants to come through, but it's really coming only halfway through, and it's really getting blocked by that energy that's at the lower half of the crown chakra. So that wants to be dealt with. That just really strongly comes up when I looked again and I asked again. That just really, so, in the one-on-one, we would go deeper into that, like what is the origination of that, what is the exact, whether it's tied to a belief or if it's an implant or something like that. I don't see it really as an implant. Actually, I think it's more of a really deep, very intense belief that's blocking that there. Yeah, so that one-on-one would be so illuminating for you in terms of already just bringing the light of consciousness to it will start to kind of loosen it up, and then the workshop will take care of kind of clearing out the rest.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanya. Blessings. Wonderful. Let's go to South San Francisco, California with Kathy. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Sophie. Hi, Godelieve.
Hi, Kathy.
Welcome.
Thank you for taking my call. I want to know what's blocking me, or I guess my number one blocking my level of expansion.
Yeah. So it's the heart energy really wants to come through and radiate, and it's like you're holding it back. So let me just look a little bit different, because that's immediately what I see energetically. That heart energy just really wants to come through, and I'm seeing on the other end, there's a shift in your energetic alignment. There's just like this ease, and there's this allowing to radiate that beauty from the heart. And so I'm looking at the gap now, because that's not where you are right now, right? So that's that future point in time. So let me just look at any more details about what's causing you to hold that back.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a couple things. One is doubts, not knowing if it will be received, right? So you have these ideas, these subconscious disbeliefs about how it will be received. And also there's some fear of repercussion laced in there. So, maybe the last time you did that, past life, for example, you kind of got whacked for it, right?
Yeah.
So there's like a hesitation to allow that heart to really radiate. So yeah, believe it or not, we can shield our own light that way and our heart radiance, but that really wants to happen is that heart wants to, I call it like a kind of relax, because in that relaxed state, the heart just naturally opens up and that light shines through. So that next piece of your expansion is not holding back the light, and in particular, your heart light. It's allowing yourself to feel those moments of joy, allowing it to radiate, allowing yourself to feel those moments of intense, let's say, compassion, but all those moments that activate the heart, allowing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
That heart activation, in particular in the workshop, too, would be really amazing for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Blessings, Kathy.
Yes. You've addressed every requirement in your package. Yes. Everything is included. That's really wonderful. Okay. Let's go back to the Q&A. We're going to Charlottesville, Virginia with Margaret.
Okay. Charlottesville, Margaret. Okay. There's a couple things I want to address. One is this feeling of being, this is what I call small. And by small, I mean not big, not brilliant, not powerful, not significant, right? So, but that's what I mean by when I say small. Like you still have this identity of being powerless, helpless perhaps, even vulnerable maybe, but you still have that in your field of being small. Right. The other thing that also one of your guides is bringing attention to is your clairvoyance. So there's blocks in your clairvoyance. I don't want to go too deep here because once I go in that rabbit hole, it goes deep. But I'll just take a little look here of what the flavor of that is. Okay, so a lot of blocks put in place from childhood about things that you saw that you didn't want to see, or that you're not supposed to see. Right, and that's actually more of it, so that not supposed to see. So there's some energy from other people in that space, in that clairvoyant pathway, that can be removed. So that's not doesn't have to be a big problem, but that wants to be addressed too, because one of your guides is wanting to point to that. So it's time to release those blocks on your clairvoyance and give yourself permission to see again. That's the other thing that I wanted to share.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Blessings, Margaret. Let's go to Brazil with Clayton.
Brazil. I want to go there someday. Okay. Clayton. Okay, so part of this is like an attunement wants to happen here. So very interesting. Let me look a little bit more and see at your field what's kind of the number one block to your expansion, because there is an attunement that's wanting to occur right now. Okay, let me look in here. Say in the power center, so that third chakra area and that power center, so it's also connected, it's also connected to your clairsentience, actually. But this is a huge piece that's showing as part of that next level of your expansion is kind of like stepping into your power. And instead of allowing that power center, that third chakra, to make you feel vulnerable, it actually should be the opposite, right? But I'm just seeing now that the way it's structured is that you're receiving information, but there's not a command of your energy. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of feeling of things that you don't want to feel, that don't feel comfortable, and so that's causing a contortion of that power center, of that chakra, right? And there's a lot of energetic kind of debris in there and stuff. And that is definitely tied to owning your energy in your body and being in your power, stepping into your power, all that kind of stuff. So that lights up right away.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Clayton. Blessings. All right. Let's go to the UK with Jamila. Jamila.
Okay, in the UK, Jamila. Okay, so I'm feeling a lot of self-doubt. So I would say there's a lot of conscious element to that in terms of self-talk, let's say. But there's also subconscious connected to that, you realize, right? But I just see that as that number one kind of block to your expansion right now is getting past your own beliefs about what's possible, about yourself, right? Because there was a flavor of self-doubt in the way you talk to yourself, let's say. And so there's a lot of self-doubt, maybe criticism in there. But that's kind of lighting up as that needs to be addressed right now. Yeah.
Okay.
That one-on-one in the package, I feel like would be really good for you because there's going to be a lot of insight from that one-on-one and looking in each of the pathways. And I'll actually identify the specific flavors of the self-doubt. And then we'll be able to literally pull those out and transmute them during the workshop.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
A sip of water. How are we doing?
We're doing great. You are doing great. How are you doing, Godelieve?
I'm doing okay, yeah.
Rolling the readings. Are you good to keep going? Or let me know if you feel tired or if you feel your energy is going down.
Well, I do have another session coming up soon, but that's okay. I have time for another
let me know. How much time? Let me know. Yeah, I didn't know that. Sorry. I should have asked you.
Yeah, that's okay. No, it's 10:30. But that's okay. So I can do 2 or 3 more for sure, I think.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Okay, let's go to New York with Sherwood.
Okay, Sherwood in New York. Okay. I'm just looking at your whole field here. There's like a band of energy right in between the heart chakra and the third chakra, the third and the fourth chakra. And it's like a band of energy. So part of that, your clairsentient ability, and if you get those gut feelings, those just, I feel like you may have strong feeling in that kind of stomach area where you just get like that gut feeling. So let me just look at what's blocking that next level of expansion for you. Okay, so I'd like to see a little bit more of alignment of your energy fully in your body. So that's one thing that I'm just witnessing. There's a little bit out of your body. So that wants to come into alignment. And then I would address that kind of band of energy between those 2 chakras, which is really a tightening down of your clairsentient ability. So that's like not wanting to feel. So that really is very clearly, energetically, just I feel it. It's like a not wanting to feel. So that, and that's obviously tied to beliefs about it not feeling good or it's not safe or whatever, but that not wanting to feel. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sherwood. Blessings. Let's go to Singapore with Lucille.
Lucille in Singapore. Okay, so in the kind of the top half of the spine in the back, below the neck and almost between the shoulders and that kind of area, there's some denser energy. So let me just watching as the energy, so energy comes in, let's say, and actually through the clairaudient pathway too, but there's not a clear flow through. And you're also kind of blocking, that energy is kind of like blocking access into some of the chakras, like especially the heart, right? Because it's kind of right above and below, or right above and behind, rather, that back of the heart chakra. so tied to feelings of being insignificant and not worthy of wielding your power, not worthy of receiving pure light frequencies and information. So there's a worthiness issue tied to that. Yeah. So, and that's a big one, and that's a super common one, right? So many have this lack of, I'm not worthy to. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Lucille. Let's do a last one. Going to Wichita, Kansas with Pretty.
Pretty?
Pretty.
Pretty. Okay, cute. Wichita. Okay. Okay, so I would see in general there's a lot of, it's going to sound funny, but a stuffing of energies in several of the pathways, and in particular some of the chakras also, including the ears. The ear chakras are really, there's a compacted energy in the ear chakras. And actually this may even be affecting your physical hearing, because when I see it, when it's at that level of compaction or density, often it starts to express on the physical, right? So I see that in particular in the crown, in the ear chakras, but in the pathways, in many of parts of the pathways. So it's just really time for you to start addressing that and clearing that out. So absolutely, that one-on-one and the workshop, I think is really going to be great for you, because there's just a lot of compacted energy there. And that also tells me then those have not been in use, right? Because even as I look at some of your other pathways, let me just look real quickly. Yeah, I feel like your clairsentient is the most open right now, that pathway. And so it's just like, when I see a lot of that compacted energy, like a lot of the reason too is they just haven't been used. And so they can accumulate just kind of like, I call it just debris that has accumulated, just little bits of energy, other people's opinions, let's say, whatever. Traumatic events, though, seem to be related to your ear chakras. So there's just, this package would really be good in loosening up a lot of that and clearing it out. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Pretty. Thank you, Godelieve. Well, everyone, whether or not you've received your intuitive reading or picked up insights from someone else's reading, at this point, I think it's really clear how Godelieve can support you to expand your psychic abilities to the next level for you. So before I give you the closing word, Godelieve, let me wrap up the special offer. Everyone go to gracefulconnections.com/LOT Godelieve. You have the button on the webcast on the replay. Just scroll down the page for psychic perception, illumination, and expansion. Very comprehensive package, including an individual reading of your psychic pathways, assessment, and blocks discovery. You have the workshop, 2-hour workshop, psychic blocks removal and activation of clear pathways. You have a 2-hour play shop, expand your psychic perception. Before all that, you'll have the orientation and preparation call, during which you'll receive your bonus class, What Determines Your Psychic Ability. Very complete package, very solid, very deep. Every element required is included, and it is, yes, very, very generously priced. So thank you so much, Godelieve. Is there any word of closing you'd like to offer? You've offered so much already, but if there's anything you want to add, now is a good time.
I just encourage, everyone to, if you're interested in expanding your psychic abilities, just ask yourself what's holding you back, right? So if you don't maybe resonate with this package, are you doing something else to kind of take that next step, right? So I encourage that. If you do resonate and you do feel like joining, it's going to be wonderful. I mean, just that one-on-one reading, assessment of your pathways is going to be worth the price and then some, just from all of what you're going to learn about yourself and your own energetic makeup and what's what's in there, what's been holding you back so far. And the great thing is that then the next piece is that workshop where we're going to be addressing that, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, I have this framework that I take people through to really unlock their psychic abilities, and I'm applying that framework in this package. So we're going to illuminate your gifts. We're going to clear and transmute any resistance that's in the way. You know, we're going to be doing activations. I'm going to be retraining your brain in the play shop, right? We're going to be applying your psychic abilities in the workshop, right? There's also Q&A included. So, you know, part of my abilities is that I see very clearly how energy runs. So during the exercises, I can literally witness you and see the energy coming in, and then see, okay, where does it get blocked? Where's there a bottleneck? What's happening that's interfering with your ability to perceive it or interpret it, or, you know, like, so I really love that part of my work. Actually, is just literally working very methodically and hands-on with people in real time. So I love doing live workshops, live play shops, and so these are live, they're not recordings, and you will have the ability to ask questions and get personal assistance.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Godelieve. Thank you for being with us today, for all that you've offered and offering this package as well. So now let's take a moment to be present once again to the Orb of Truth, allowing it to remain there, holding us, holding all that we've discovered, experienced, received today, all that we're not even yet aware we have received, letting it settle in and come to our awareness as we are held in the Orb of Truth for as long as it serves our highest good, our evolution, and the highest good of all. And I'm closing now by giving gratitude to each and every one of you in the audience. Thank you for answering yes to the calling of truth and the calling of your psychic and spiritual abilities and gifts, really, to be expanded to a whole new level. Mm-hmm. Gratitude to you, powerful, multidimensional energy reader and heightened multisensory intuitive mentor, Godelieve Willer, for all the wisdom, the brilliance, the offerings you've gifted us today through the light of truth that you have been generously and masterfully flowing for us. It was really brilliant. Thank you, Godelieve.
Thank you for having me, Sophie, and thank you for everyone who interacted or just energetically were present with us. Sending lots of love and blessings to everyone. And thank you, Sophie, for doing such a great job hosting these wonderful events. I love your events.
Thank you. My pleasure. You'll be back. Thank you, Godelieve. Let's give gratitude to the Orb of Grace and the Orb of Truth for providing a safe, sacred space for this exploration and all these revelations today. And gratitude to our higher selves and all the higher beings who guide, support, and protect us, leading us in truth and leading us to truth. And gratitude to the divine. Thank you. Until we meet again, many graceful, truthful blessings to you all, and goodbye now.
Thank you.